Welcome back to another episode of Transitions from War. I'm your host, Mike Urgo, a Marine Corps veteran. I returned from Iraq and faced the challenges of PTSD, addiction, and grief to create a new life that is balanced and healthy in mind, body, and spirit. I'm joined by fellow Marine Rich Straley, and together we talk about our journey to mental and physical health through endurance sports. Each episode will share some of our journey or interview inspired veterans and subject matter experts to help us find that purpose and connection we all crave. If you have any questions, comments, or topic ideas, feel free to email me at mike@transitionsfromwar.com. And if you enjoy the show, consider leaving us a review on Apple Podcast or wherever you get your audio. As always, thanks for listening, everyone, and let's get to the show.
It's a practical joke. That's the most important part of it. All right. Hey, welcome back to Transitions from War, everybody. Again, I'm your host, Mike Urgo, and thank you guys for joining us. And today we have an awesome guest who I've met in person and had a great experience of being out in the field doing a pig hunt with. I got my friend Tom Dermody, of Field of Dreams, and just excited to be talking with you again. Tom, how are you?
Hey, good morning, and hope everything's been going well for you and the family. And thank you for inviting me to come do a little talking with you.
Oh, it's my honor, because I just remember when you reached out to me. It was 4th of July weekend.
Yeah.
For that, and we had that hunt. It was you, me, Mike, and Chris Maines, and we went out and chased down some pigs and just had a great time out on the range there on the ranch, just getting to know each other and spending time in the outdoors.
Right. No, it was an honor to have you guys. And, it's anytime we do a hunt, it's something that we take very personal, and we look forward to, showing our guests the most rewarding, educational, fun time as possible. We don't set a regimented pace. We kind of let our guests make the decision on how they want to hunt, where they want to hunt. We give them an overview and let them kind of call the shots, and we mold around it and try to show them the best time that we possibly can.
Well, mission accomplished there, because it was a great time and a fun learning experience. For me, it was the first time I've done anything other than waterfowl hunting.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was just a new experience and really cool, not only to do the hunt, but to get to know another veteran and get to know you and Mike helping out. And can you tell us a little bit about Field of Dreams and how you got started?
Yeah, the Field of Dreams is a 501c3 nonprofit based here in Northern California. Our mission statement is basically to provide outdoor opportunities for veterans of all wars. We do a lot with Gold Star children, and then we also do a lot with special needs children. It's kind of a weird story, but oh Lord, it's been quite a few years ago. A good friend of mine down in Fresno had a neighbor that had a young son that had just graduated from high school, and he's enrolled in Fresno State, getting ready to go off to college. And a bunch of his buddies were out in the desert riding dirt bikes, and this kid got in a motorcycle accident and was paralyzed from mid-chest down. And the kid just shut down. You're 18 years old. What am I going to do? I'm confined to a wheelchair now. And so Scott called me and said, "Hey, can you help me with this kid?" And I said, "What do you got?" He goes, "Hey, the kid really wants to kill a deer." I said, "Okay." So I've never dealt with a handicapped person before in my life. I've guided a lot of hunts and done stuff in the outdoors. So yeah, I'll do it. So to make a long story short, we had to get it, I went and got a high back seat out of a Dodge Astro van, took it to a buddy, two brothers, Davis Machinery and Meridian. We built a turret, kind of looked like a tank turret, mounted in the back of the pickup.
Yeah.
360-degree turn and all this stuff. we took this young man out for a deer hunt. You know, anybody that hunts A zone knows that it's hot, it's tough hunting. I was fortunate enough to get onto a private ranch that held a lot of deer, and the young man ended up harvesting a really nice 3-point. And after he got done with the hunt, something in his mind clicked in and said, you know, even though I have this limitation, I'm gonna keep moving forward. So the young man saying, well, now he's an adult, Justin, he went into college. He actually graduated with a 4-year degree in ministry. He's a pastor of his church. He's married, and he actually has a little machine shop where he builds like custom wrought iron gates and a lot of neat stuff like that. Well, after we did that hunt, my buddy Scott was a board member for the California Deer Association. He wrote an article and put it back then. It wasn't even a magazine. It was a newspaper.
Yeah.
And he wrote an article in it. All of a sudden, I'm getting all these phone calls, you know, and I'm like, oh boy, there is a need for this, you know. So at that time, you know, I had 2 young children, twins, and, you know, the money wasn't there to do what we needed to do. So I'd get up every evening, you know, anytime there was somewhere where I could go talk and people would listen, I'd go in and, you know, I might walk out with $50 or $500 or sometimes nothing.
Yeah.
And I'd save enough money. And then all these people that were on this waiting list, I would, you know, do a fishing day or whatever it might be. And then a good friend told me, just, you know, you got to start a nonprofit. About the same time, that's when the first Iraq war kicked off. And we started seeing a lot of these guys coming back that went through, you know, horrendous things over there. And from there, it just skyrocketed. We started the 501c3, formed a board, you know, all the stuff it takes. And it's the most rewarding thing I've ever got to do. It's something that my whole family's involved in. This is my 19th year doing this, and you know, I have no regrets. You know, last weekend we did another pig hunt with 2 other veterans that came up, and you know, like you, one of them never killed a pig before, never seen a wild pig. So we went up and got really two nice hogs with them, and you know, we're doing this banquet coming up. We have, you know, we got to raise about $500,000 a year to do what we do.
Yeah,
you know, we're not just hunting California. You know, we've hunted all over the world, and a lot of the guests that we take are from all over the country. So you know, it's equipment maintenance and insurance and all the input costs to keep this thing going. And then, you know, the trips, you know, as you know, as an avid hunter, that hunting opportunities this day and age are not cheap, you know. It's
exactly.
So, you know, we've been blessed. We got some phenomenal outfitters that we work with throughout the United States to give us discounts, and they know the program, they believe in the program. So, you know, I mean, we've sent guys that were really banged up, and, you know, our success rate is extremely high in what we do. We just take a lot of pride. I mean, when you come hunt or fish with us or do whatever, we give it 100%. You know, it's not all about the killing. It's about spending time in the hills and seeing the beauty of the ranch. You know, when you guys came up, it was hot, dry, dust bowl, but you know, we've been blessed with these rains. So, you know, the creeks are running, and it's just, I mean, I strongly believe that the outdoors is healing, it's therapeutical. And we were blessed that God provided these opportunities for me and my family. And, you know, my goal is to pass them on to people that don't get that opportunity.
It's such an amazing thing to be able to see the change in somebody when you offer them an opportunity like that. Like this young man who you started this whole thing for, just that change of maybe being hopeless or maybe not knowing what direction to go, and then being inspired, and then looking at what he's doing now because of that. And the power in that is just so incredible. And I don't think a lot of people understand, you know, it can be something like being outdoors, just learning that you have the opportunity to move forward. And I know that's the case with a lot of vets. One thing that we talk about on my show a lot is just that transition out of the military is hard. And I don't think a lot of people understand why, but you get it because you've been around it long enough. But for a lot of people, it's just that you go from that environment of having people who are, you had their back, they had your back, and you experience some pretty difficult things together, and then come back and be separated from like that. It's a difficult change. And I think what I love too about what you do, especially with the pig hunts, is that you pair veterans up together. And in my case, I got to meet another amazing vet who I still talk to. I actually hunted, ducks with him last weekend.
Good for you.
Yeah. And it's because of you, Tom. You built that and you made that relationship possible. And I'm just so happy to know that you get it. And what I really like is that you provide these things and you're so humble about it. So I just want to make sure on the show that I made sure to thank you personally for providing that opportunity for me too.
Oh, it's an honor to do it. And, the thing that really gets me is once you come and spend time with us, you become part of the family, and I never served. So when we're riding through these hills or sitting in a duck blind or out on the river on a boat, and you guys start telling your deal and your experiences that you dealt with overseas, I can't say, yeah, I was there, or, hey, I know how you feel. I got to use, from the bottom of all of our hearts, we thank each and every one of you with our deepest gratitude. We're here for you. We love you guys to death, and it's tough for me because you get guys that call, that have come and spent time with us, and I can't answer those questions. I can't say, yeah, hey, I was in Baghdad or Kandahar or whatever, so I set up a network of veterans all throughout this country. So when a guy calls me and says, Tom, I'm going through a tough go, I'm having a rough time, it could be my wife left me, or I lost my job, or maybe just having a hard time trying to figure out what path in life he wants to take, to get back onto that right track. I have Richard Sanchez in Colorado. I got Brandon Bailey in Kentucky, and numerous others that, I could reach out to and say, hey guys, I need some help. Then they'll turn around and reach out to that individual and talk them through as much as they can. And, I just, you hear the 22 a day, and, that just rips our heart out. And, it's to me, it's unacceptable. I think that more people should get involved in the, you hear it now. Well, Afghanistan's over. Well, I don't care if you're in Iraq, Afghanistan, Vietnam, wherever it might be, it's never over. And people got to remember that you're going to deal with that stuff the rest of your life. And this program, like that ranch that you went on, that's a 14,000 acre playground.
Yeah.
For you guys. It's not for me. It's not for my kids. It's not for anybody but you guys. So, through what you do with your podcast, you might have a guy reach out to you and say, hey, I need some help. I need to, what can I do? I have no problem. You call me and say, hey, I got this guy that's struggling. Bring him up to the ranch. Call me, and we'll go through the exact same thing that you did. Unfortunately this year with the drought, we didn't have a place to hunt ducks. Usually we run between 100 and 125 duck hunters.
Yeah.
But we didn't have it this year. So we're hoping with the rain that we got this year, the ducks we're doing 7 days a week, and we do a lot of reunion hunts too. Cause I know like yourself, you serve with a group of buddies, for however many years. And then all of a sudden, hey, I'm retired now, or you get medically retired or whatever. And everybody goes in their own direction. But you kind of lose track of them. So, 2 or 3 times a year, we'll do a reunion hunt where you would call me up and say, hey, I got 3 buddies that I haven't seen in years. One lives in Pennsylvania, one lives here, and one lives there. We'd like to get together for a weekend. And I say, hey, you put it together. You tell me what you need from me, and we'll get it done. You guys come in, you spend some days together and reminisce, and recharge your batteries. And hopefully when you're done, that you go back with your batteries recharged and you're feeling better about yourself. Your buddies are feeling better about themselves. And it's something to look forward to.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's so cool because I think a lot of people in my shoes don't see that path forward of a life, a meaningful life after getting back from combat. And I know I struggle with that. I'm very public about how much I struggled and how I went through a lot of substance use and dark days. But what makes it great is to know, you can see a support our troops ribbon on the back of someone's car, but you are that living support our troops person. And you've been doing that work for, 2 decades now. And people see that. And, I was just talking with a mutual friend of ours, Mike Kellogg, and he was just so happy that he knows someone like you. What I love too about being out there is that, like, by day I'm a therapist for the VA and I'll talk to people, but there's nothing that replaces being out in creation, being out in the outdoors, and spending time with other guys like that. There's no substitute for that. And I think people, a lot of times, my own story, and I've talked about it a couple of times on the show, is that I got back, and every time I was around firearms after I got out, I started, break out in sweats, getting the shakes, and it bothered me because I love to shoot, but it just was not something I could do. But the first time my buddy Scott took me out duck hunting, I'm just instantly cured of that. And then further reinforced by going out with you and the guys and being able to harvest a pig and use a firearm to do something that I could take home and be proud of, bring home meat to my family, and just kind of changes the concept of holding the firearm in a positive way. And it's huge. Never thought I'd have that again. Never thought I'd have that again.
And that's what's important, that, I was blessed at an early age, growing up where we grew up, that's all we did was we hunted and fish. And I'll never forget this the day that I leave this earth is my grandmother told me, whenever you take something, you give something back. And that was instilled into me that, so as I became older and had a family, and my wife's an avid hunter, all my kids are, that what better way to give back where, we've got these phenomenal places to go spend time in the outdoors, then bring individuals like yourself into the field, and so many guys too, and men and women and the children, you might be blind, you might be a double amputee, a triple amputee, spinal bifida with the children, all those horrendous injuries or illnesses that, that people get. We've never turned a vet or a child away due to limitations. We have a shooting system. I can hunt a guy or a child that's quadriplegic, legally blind. Our crew is amazing. When you have a guy, we did one, this has been a few years ago, a Marine from Southern California, double amputee of the legs. Yeah. And it was November. It was a late November deer season here. It's freezing cold. There's ice on the ground.
Yeah.
He kills this buck. And, one thing about you guys, I want to go. It's never quit, and we got to this hill, and it's freaking steep. There's no way he could get up with it. get up with it on prosthetics.
Yeah.
One of my committee members carried that guy on his back about 200 yards uphill so that guy could see his ear.
I love that.
So for us, we, improvise and overcome. I mean, we've done some crazy stuff to get people out there and to their, we don't quit. It's, you guys had a mission over there. We have a mission here. And that is to show you guys the most rewarding, positive experience that you can have in the outdoors. If it takes, we have an action track chair. If it means loading up the action track chair in the trailer, putting it behind the Ranger that you rode on with the shooting system, we'll do it. I mean, it's all there. It's all for you guys. All you have to do is convey to us, this is what I really need help with. And, we'll get it done. I have no doubt in my mind.
I love that. I love that. And that love is mutual. So I want to know what we can do to support your mission of Field of Dreams. You said you got a banquet coming up, and I know you do various fundraisers, but what can people do to support you?
The biggest thing, like I talked about earlier, it takes a lot of money to do this. And, one of the things that I want to convey to your group is not myself, nobody on my board draws a salary from this. The money raised goes on the ground. We did not start this for Tom Dermody to make a salary. We started this program to give back to a very special group of individuals. So, I mean, we're always looking for financial donations. If a guy works for, we usually go through like a pallet of bottled water a year, just fuel card, because, COVID really hurt us. It set us back about 2 years.
Yeah.
The borders got closed and all this stuff compiled, we average about 3 to 5 applications a week. Right now we're sitting at over 3,000 on the waiting list.
Wow.
So, the more money we raise, the more guys we could get in the field. We're always looking for new opportunities, locally and, throughout the country, throughout the world, but financial donations would probably be the biggest help that, it's just, unfortunately everything takes money to do. And, with fuel prices and, a pig hunt, for a weekend, we're into it, $500-600 by the time you cover the fuel, the food, the water, and all the other necessities that go along with it, so it adds up. And then also just, spreading the word about the program that, hey, this is right here in your guys' backyard. It's there. One that really touches me too is the Gold Star kids.
Yes.
I grew up. My dad passed away when I was really young. I never knew him. So my mom and grandmother were the ones that taught me how to hunt and fish. So, they have a really special place in my heart. I know it's kind of tough for mom to say, hey, Junior, I'm going to let you go on this hunt after what happened to Dad.
Yeah.
But we've done it numerous times. And those children are our future. We need to get more outdoorsmen, especially in the state that we live in.
Yep.
It's, between mismanagement of the resources through our state, all this other stuff that's going on with, again, like gun movement and anti-hunting. And, but people got to remember, hunting is a management tool. And if it's used correctly, which we do on, like that ranch that you hunted on.
Yeah.
We manage that ranch, in many different ways. We put a lot of time and effort into improving the ranch, water development, and all the other stuff that goes to help benefit the wildlife. So it's not like we just come in, shoot a bunch of stuff, and then boom, we're out of there and leave the ranch. I mean, we treat that ranch like it's our own. So, I'm kind of getting off track, but probably the biggest thing you could help me with is, anybody out there, if they want to write a donation, you go right to our website. It's all there. And I mean, I do not have a problem if they want to talk to me one-on-one, or if they want me to come and give a presentation. I'd be more than happy to. Or, it's just, I lay in bed at night going, every night when I come home from work, my wife, we have a regimen. I come home, I eat dinner, I take a shower, and she goes, "Hey, you got X amount of applications, you got X amount of emails, you got X amount of text messages, you got X phone calls." That's one thing about the nonprofit, is something that you can't say, "Well, I want to work on the Field of Dreams today." And so you do it one day, and then I'm going to take a couple of days off. For my wife and I, it's every day, it's every night, it's every weekend. No, and I'm not complaining, but people don't understand. Everybody said, "Oh, you that's neat. You take them hunting and fishing."
Yeah.
There's a tremendous amount behind the scenes that, talking to guys that are having I've got on the phone at 7:00 at night, and the next morning my wife's like, say, "Hey, you got to get to work," but I'm not going to leave that phone until I know that individual is back on the right track. And if I can't help them, I'm going to reach out to somebody else that, Richard Sanchez, again, in Colorado, that I can call and say, "Hey, I need help. I can't get this deal. I can't get this guy back on the right track." There's a lot of people out there that are true Americans that have the utmost respect for all you guys, and they're out there, and we've been blessed. We know them all throughout this country. If anybody's ever having a problem, there's ways to get help.
There are, and there's the formal ways and there's the informal ways, like this, of just a network of people that and trust. And should I be able to be of service, I'd love to be one of those people that you can call on to if you got a vet in trouble. Well, what I'm going to do is, for everybody listening to the show, go into the show notes right now and look at the website that's right there. It says Field of Dreams, and check out what's going on. Give what you can, and as important, share this with others so they know what's going on, and find people who can help, so we can keep this mission going.
Well, one thing I would like to do for you,
yes, sir.
I know with your podcast that you do all throughout the year, is, I'm going to give you a challenge. You go through, and all the guys that you're talking to through your program, you pick two other guys that you think that really need the help. You facilitate it, and you and the two individuals will go on a weekend hog hunt up on the ranch.
That sounds like a beautiful thing. I appreciate that so much, Tom, and I'll make that happen. You already got my wheels turning.
Yeah. So now you got a homework assignment.
Yes, sir. I'm on it. Well, that's a great way to leave it right there. So I just want to encourage everybody again to check out Field of Dreams online, in our show notes, and look at all the awesome things Tom has done and continues to do through Field of Dreams, and just this awesome mission. So thank you for being a part of this show, and can't wait to continue on this conversation.
Hey, you call me anytime. You got my number. Have a great day today. I got to get my keister to work. But no, anybody have any questions, feel free to call me, shoot me an email, and keep me posted on your homework assignment.
Yes, sir.